And we are live. Welcome to Travel Insights, powered by the leading travel and tourism daily news portal, TravelDailyNews.com International Edition. We are streaming live on our website, on YouTube, as well as on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Thank you for tuning in wherever you're watching us from. I'm Chryssa Skodra, and in this interview series, I have the chance to interview influential thought leaders, professionals, academics, and practitioners in the tourism industry, as well as in aviation, hospitality. And those inspiring people are sharing their insights and expertise with me and with you out there listening. Today, I have the great pleasure to welcome Mr. Nikos Hadjos. Welcome, Nikos, into the studio.
Thank you, Chryssa. Kalimera. Good morning from Dubai. It's a pleasure to be part of the Travel Insights series.
Thank you so much for joining us and taking the time. Nikos, you are a Canadian born of Greek heritage. You have an international experience, more than 25 years in the hospitality industry. You are the founder and managing director of Hotellect, which is a hospitality specialist firm. You offer global advisory services, and you have been one of the, or were you the Marriott International, what was it? The head of business analysis for Middle East and Africa for many years. Is that correct?
That's correct. And then basically I transferred to the European team and to the business development, where I was heading the development of all Marriott brands in Greece, Cyprus, and Malta for a number of years.
For a number of years. And now you have founded your own firm. And today's topic, you're the right person to open up today's topic, which is Greece, the new hotel investment heaven. We'll see why is that so, what are the benefits, and what are the opportunities. So we would talk more about this topic. First, I would like you to set the stage for us and for our viewers and listeners. We had a chance to talk earlier, and you mentioned that we're entering a new era in hotel investments, and generally the ownership landscape is changing. So please tell us in a nutshell, what has the situation been before, and what changes and shifts are powering this transformation that we're seeing currently?
Sure. In Greece, as most of the Mediterranean region, for a number of decades, the ownership status was confined almost exclusively to local families. Most of the hotels, especially in the leisure segment, were built with the financial contribution of the tour operators, who in exchange were securing places under the sun for their clients and also at very competitive prices for them. At the same time, they were solidifying their presence and market share in the countries of the Mediterranean. On the other side, banks were not as sophisticated, or I could say equipped enough to comprehend really the intricacies of the hotel investment field. And they were basing their lending decision more on the personal relationships with the borrowers, who might have basically other business activities in other sectors, and less on the fundamentals and the business plan of the actual hotel investments for which the borrowers would come to the banks. Looking down a couple of decades, we have seen and we realize where this has led to us, with a significant amount of red loans linked to hospitality assets, and all the big mess that has been created lately. Now, looking what's happening right now, especially during the last 7 years, we have seen at the beginning slowly, but then more rapidly growing an interest and influx of international investors who basically could foresee the potential of Greece. And specifically, Israeli and Lebanese investors were the first ones to basically be the pioneers there. And the rest of the Europeans, Americans, and other nationality investors have been following this trend. Another important sector why things have been changing is actually the evolution of the e-commerce and internet as the main source of reservations, and thus making the position of international hotel chains, OTAs, the online travel agencies, who are investing hundreds of millions every year on the electronic infrastructures, basically creating a much stronger competitive position for themselves in the market, while the opposite effect was happening with the tour operators. And we have seen already a number of tour operators actually shutting down businesses. A third reason was that the Greek banks, in an effort to basically rectify their reputation and also improve their financial standing, have been open to offer loans to investors with the right credentials and the right business plans.
Mm-hmm.
These are supported by the efforts by the Greek government through different incentives, both on the tax side or on the financing side through grants, trying to basically motivate, incentivize investors to come into the hotel arena, have been definitely a significant contributor to this change of climate. And also the generation of local hoteliers that are now reaching an age where they can take over from their fathers. Now, there you have either the people that they realize that it's not a bad thing to collaborate with a third party coming from overseas, and basically there's more benefits to be gained rather than to be harmed. So I think, in a nutshell, these are the main reasons why we have seen the shift in the appetite of investors and the growth of the hotel investment activity in Greece in the last few
Mm-hmm.
years.
You sort of touched upon it. I would like us to dig a little bit deeper. When we talk about the ownership landscape, there are a lot of people who have money to invest. And if we think about hotel investments versus other property investments, what would be the benefits and advantages of focusing on a hotel investments rather than any other property investment?
I think one of the most attractive incentives is basically the higher returns that the hotel real estate has versus the other real estate classes. Of course, we have to let the audience know that the higher returns actually are followed by the higher risk. It's a more specialized sector, thus creating high barriers to entry. And in conjunction with the significantly higher capital required to invest, that basically makes a lot of investors that are not in the field to think twice before investing their capital.
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, it's a more attractive asset for diversification of portfolio of investors. So investors that actually have money in stocks, bonds, energy, they definitely see real estate and especially hotels as an attractive asset class. Quite importantly, the hotel investments are basically a much better hedge against inflation versus commercial or residential, simply because the prices at the hotel change every single day. So they can basically reflect any changes that need to be reflected on the selling of the property.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, for a lot of investors, especially high net worth individuals or family offices, it offers also a psychological, I would say, ego boost. It's one thing to say, let's meet at our offices to
Mm-hmm.
your clients or to your friends, and another thing is to say, let me host you at my 5-star beach resort.
Mm-hmm. I see. And now you spoke about beach resorts, and Greece has been predominantly a beloved destination. And but in particular, why would anyone invest in Greece at this very moment? You touched upon again earlier when I asked you about the shifts and the changes and the transformations. Um, and specifically, if you can mention for our viewers and listeners, are there some up and coming regions or particular cities and destinations in Greece that have huge potential for hotel investments, in your expert opinion?
For sure. Well, I think Greece is a fairly untapped and with a great potential market, despite that Greece is a small country, is blessed with a geography through its islands that makes it much bigger than it actually is, because every island basically is a single market. Um, Furthermore, it's a still less expensive market than our neighboring countries, like, say, Italy, Spain, Portugal, France. And we have a very strong and well-educated labor force, which nowadays it's one of the hottest topics globally, not only in Greece. How important it is to be able to find the right staff. Because it doesn't matter how beautiful or how luxurious your hotel is if you cannot have the right staff to offer the equivalent level of service. Then basically you have a major problem. And furthermore, I think Greece is going through a transitional period, as I said before, where generations are shifting. Basically, the hotels are shifting hands between generations, and there are a number of generations of hotel owners that really they are not interested anymore in continuing the legacy of their parents. They have other interests in other industries, whether it's fintech or energy. So they're looking for opportunities basically to sell the properties to someone that is interested to buy it and and is specialized in this field, or to actually either partner up and bring someone that would bring their capital to help them renovate their tired properties and also take over the management and even bringing also an international hotel chain. And the third, I would say the third subcategory of the new generation of local hotel owners are owners that want to stay and continue the legacy of their parents, but they want to take their hotels to a higher level. And you can only do that by basically upgrading and renovating your property, and also in the current era of branding, bring in an international hotel brand, whether on a franchise or on a management level. Now, talking about what areas are hot, I think that everybody knows the usual suspects that have been on the forefront of the Greek hotel arena: Mykonos, Santorini, Crete, Rhodes. I think there's still space, limited space, especially in places like Mykonos, Santorini. Crete is the largest island in Greece and the seventh largest in the Mediterranean. Even though it's very well developed, as there are still areas of beautiful nature and still untapped, like the southern part of the island and certain parts on the western and the far eastern sides. But for new destinations or destinations that are slowly now surfacing, it would be the island of Paros, Milos. Tinos is picking up as a destination, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people in the next 5 to 7 years. Then on the Ionian side, Corfu has been on a tremendous investment growth momentum, followed by Zakynthos. And I think that Kefalonia, which actually is the largest of the Ionian Islands, it's the least developed. It offers tremendous potential for investors for natural beaches and mountains. So it's an island to keep an eye on. Now, we couldn't leave Peloponnese, of course, which already, with the developments like Costa Navarino, have been put on the international tourist map. And also in the northern part of Greece, Chalkidiki, who a lot of people that visit Greece know, but also areas around there and further north, around Kavala, the islands of Thasos, or even some secondary cities like Alexandroupoli, it's not as a leisure destination, but also as a destination for commercial purposes, especially with the decision of the U.S. government to basically lease the port there.
You spoke about the potential. So, and you also talked about the hotel industry being generally considered high risk, but also high reward. You spoke about the prestige that it offers as well to hotel investors and owners. In your expert opinion, how can hotel investors mitigate the risks, and what steps should they take to ensure that their investment pays off? Can you share some insights and tips of what makes a successful hotel investment and therefore an investor? Let's hear from you some tips and insights. What makes a successful hotel investment? How risks can be mitigated?
Well, I think that everything starts from the good preparation. And the good preparation means to develop a clear set of investment criteria. And that, of course, is a long list of items. I could just touch upon a few. First of all, decide where do you want to invest? I mean, which country, which market, and within a country, which destinations, whether it's a city or urban. Then, of course, the amount of capital you're willing to invest as equity. And what would be on a per deal basis or in total? What's your investment horizon? Do you want to come in like a number of private equity companies or hotel investment funds that come in, buy, reposition, and sell within 4 to 5 years? Or you want to build a portfolio of hotels and you have a more longer term horizon? Then, of course, you have to decide whether the existing hotel acquisition is the way to go, or you prefer to build your own, and of course, bearing the risk that comes with it in a country like Greece or in general in any country. The other important thing is to liaise with the right third parties locally. I don't stop hearing investors from many different countries that have come into Greece, and unfortunately they have liaised with not the right people, and unfortunately that has led their investment decisions to have a very negative outcome, and of course that has discouraged them of investing further and actually creating a negative word of mouth
Right.
for the country as an investment destination. And that's actually
It's bad for the Greek brand or the Greece's brand, the
absolutely
national
it's
image.
extremely detrimental. Another thing that I would say is definitely on that point, always check, verify the credentials, the expertise, the experience that the advisors you are going to liaise with have. I have to say that Greece is an amazing country with a lot of potential and greatness, but like in everywhere else, there are certain bad habits, and one of them is in Greece is you are who you say you are until proven the opposite. And this has been basically witnessed and experienced by a number of investors. And I think a way to mitigate that is, yes, you meet people. It's great. It's good to do your cross check, your reference check.
Great.
And then
Yeah,
I
go ahead,
want to
please.
add two more points is that test the waters with one investment. It doesn't have to be a big one. Gain the experience and get the cold shower, as they say, by investing in an exotic country, if I can say, as Greece. And then with the experience that you gain from the first, then go full blast on the second. I think that's quite important.
And you are, Nikos, the founder and managing director of Hotellect. As I mentioned in the beginning, it's a hospitality specialist firm. You offer your clients that range from international hotel companies to owners and investors, that you offer global advisory services. You have personally have the experience, more than 25 years in 4 different continents, in different positions. So you are the expert in hotel operations, consultancy, acquisitions, for the whole development of the life cycle. So what makes your approach, your firm unique in the way you're offering those advisory services to your clients? Is it your know-how and expertise? Is it your network? What makes you special? And people who are listening and they're thinking, I would like to invest, this sounds interesting, Greece might be or has been on my mind. What what makes you special? What kind of services you can offer?
Well, I don't know if we're special, but definitely we're specialized. And Hotellect was basically founded on the growing need for dependable, specialized hotel investment advisory in a market that definitely for a number of years was fragmented, unsophisticated, suffering from lack of transparency. But at the same time now have entered into an era of more dynamic investment activity and of clients and investors that actually are used to a more international way of doing business. So, in Hotellect as a team, we, as you correctly said, we have more than 25 years of experience in various fields. And having worked as a team with hotel investment companies, with hotel operators, with investment banks, that basically make us understand, comprehend, if I would use as a better word, the needs of our clients, what their criteria are, and we know how they think because we have been where they are. And that makes us more effective and capable of catering to their needs and knowing what's good for them and what's not. At the same time, for us, the pillars of ethics, passion, integrity, agility are within our DNA, and we believe that also these are very important elements and ingredients for the advisor to safeguard the interest of his client.
Very good. Thank you, Nikos. Is there something else you would like to add? Today we had the chance to speak about or touch upon the topic of Greece, the new hotel heaven. Is it something that we haven't mentioned that you would like to absolutely share with our viewers and listeners?
I believe that I can speak about hotel investments in Greece and in the Mediterranean for hours. So I think that our audience has taken a small taste, and definitely, in case there are any questions or inquiries, we will be delighted to answer them offline, via our website.
Great. Check here the website hotellect.eu and reach out to Nikos Hadjos as well, right? You're on social media, on LinkedIn, right?
That's correct. So
feel free to reach out to Nikos. I don't know you personally, but I know of you. So it's been a great pleasure to talk with you and hear your insights about hotel investments and in my own home country of Greece. So hopefully we have given some food for thought to all of you out there. I would like to thank Nikos and wish him a nice and productive day in Dubai.
Thank you very much for having me, Chryssa. It's great to be able to share some of the wisdom I guess we have gained through the years of working in the industry, both globally but also the last few years in Greece. Mm-hmm. And I can close by saying that Greece, indeed, it's an investment haven, and I think in the next 4 to 5 years, we will be witnessing a quite dramatic transformation for the better in that field. And that, of course, will create opportunities not only for investors, but also for other sectors of the Greek economy, which basically either directly or indirectly is linked with the hotel industry. And so that's going to be, it's going to offer great opportunities overall for the country. Mm-hmm. And for its people.
Great. So, Nikos, hopefully we're here in 4 or 5 years as you predicted, and we'll talk about this new transformative era and the new Greece and the amazing hotel investments that have taken place.
It'll be my pleasure.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nikos.
Take care. Bye-bye.
This is Travel Insights. So thank you for watching us. Don't forget that we go live every Wednesday on TravelDailyNews.com, as well as on our social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. And we interview interesting experts, leading experts with interesting topics that they have to share for your eyes and ears only. And if you have insights to share, make sure you contact me at this email shown here below. I'd love to talk to you and let me know what topic is in your heart and top of your mind. We can open it up in a live interview. Thank you for tuning in and listening, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.